She is a Nashville native, and she states that her first career started when she was 26 years old selling encyclopedias door to door. Was that
World Books, only one that was.
yeah, that first career resulted in 37 years of corporate experience, including sales, management, being an international trader, corporate writer, and motivational speaker. She later returned and completed her degree at Watkins College of Arts. And I was very struck by a comment that one of your instructors made to you during your earlier time at night class at UT Extension. And I thought, yeah, this is just like so many arrogant professors to say there was evidence of artistic talent. But then, and this is what I particularly liked, Sugar, you just haven't lived in life yet. Ms. Jarrett has had a lengthy list of shows, exhibits, the State of Tennessee Bicentennial Celebration. I'm just going to name a few of these. 2 times in the Lou Gallery at Belmont University, Tennessee State Museum, Performing Arts Center, the Gordon Jewish Community Center. Innumerable juried exhibits, and her works hang in many, many collections throughout Middle Tennessee and the wider world, all of which is evidence of the skill and that element of artistic talent that Professor saw so many years ago. The use of comparisons and dichotomies are utilized in the paintings of Millie Jarrett. I think that's a very interesting way to describe a lot of abstract painting if it's done well. And I think you could agree that those tend and allow you to set up a tension which draws the artist in, or the viewers in, to what the artist is attempting to achieve. So let me present to you Ms. Millie Jarrett.
Look at this. This has been in the attic for 60 years.
I recognize that.
I do too.
And I was probably, it was been in the attic, I don't know how long it's been in the attic, but I was probably about 14 when I did this. It's on a canvas board. I'm so glad it didn't deteriorate. But notice that I wanted every single railing just right. And notice how the trees back here are just as bright in the background as the foreground. There are a lot of things to learn in representational work that you will carry into abstract. And people think that abstract is easy because it's just slosh it up there, man. I mean, it's nothing to it. I mean, you can't tell what it is anyway, so why would anyone care, you know? But it's what you learn earlier. All the elements that you learn that are going to contribute to abstract work. And when I found this, I just stuck it in behind one of these canvases, and I thought I might share it. But after you said the things you did, I did start painting at 15, taking classes at the Nashville Museum of Art, and with Juanita Green Williams, and most of us came out painting like Juanita Green Williams, and then I started selling encyclopedias to buy canvas and paper supplies, and found out that people were very interested, and it was a marvelous career, a 37-year career. And in the process, got to visit a lot of galleries and art shows all over the world, which I think contributes. And you also have to have a lot of experiences to put those feelings and those whatever you have that you collect over the years onto canvas. It takes a lot of nerve, I guess. It takes a lot of releasing of the mind. So I want to talk to you, but I want you to see that first, not about what you see. Abstract work is about what you feel. That takes some doing to express how you feel in your way on a canvas that nobody else can do. The strongest work you will ever do are works when you're very, very emotional. You're either angry or you're sad or something happens, and I want to share some of that with you. And you also have to have, if you want to create a lot of work, you've got to have a willingness to fail. They're not all successful. If you paint 10, you'll have 1 or 2 that may be worth sharing. And you have to be willing to take criticism. I think that's one thing that you acquire by starting realistically and growing into over the years, because after so many years, you kind of you take it. You know, I don't care if you like it or not. It doesn't matter to me. But don't sell yourself short. And that might be a story I'll tell you later, and I may move it off. But what we're striving for in abstract is unity. Balancing the emotion, the heart with the head. Very important. That may sound, come in. I've been wondering where you were. Yogi Bear said, I can't think, play ball at the same time. That's what happens with the heart and the head. They have to be in balance. Now, what do you mean by that? What you learn in your head, the fundamentals of painting, and what you feel in your heart as you're expressing these strong feelings has to be in balance for that painting to function. And folks, there are days that it is, there are weeks that'll happen, and then there are months where it will not happen. But those are the months you paint anyway, because you have to. I'm often shocked when I finish a piece like this that I was not conscious of what was taking place. I said I'd never sell it, and I'll tell you about it. I was merely looking to fill the space. Lots of texture in this. I was not thinking. I was just painting. And if you see the two figures inside the lady on the right, that was all that was on there. It was all the texture and those two figures. Well, I said it needs balance, and so I started painting this on the left. And I looked and I said, that's a figure. And it must be a male figure. They said, how do you know it's a male figure? Well, look at the little bitty rear end. Women don't have little bitty rear ends like that. So I started to paint them with white. And in the process, that blue across the top carried the eye from the male figure over there. And then the red at the bottom is similar and much the same size, and I painted over here like this, and I said there was a female, and her back is turned to him. Inside her heart are 2 small figures, and he has no arms. And I said he will never hold you again. I painted this right after I lost my husband. And I'm going to tell you something, folks. If you've never let emotion enter your art, you have yet to paint. I said I would never sell it. So I hung it in the house. And every time I went through, I couldn't handle it. And so I decided maybe it was time to move it out in the bin. Well, one day, this couple called and said, we've seen a painting of yours on the web that we're interested in. And it was this painting. I got chill bumps all over. So they came out, we went through the bin, and we looked at a lot of them, and I said, I never intend to sell this painting that you liked so well. And she said, and they began to tell me their story. And they had a story. They really had a story of 2 people that loved each other, that had a lot of problems, and they solved them. And I said, well, let's take it out and see what it looks like in the house.
She said, will you write up what you said about that painting for us? And I said, yes, I'd be glad to. Most of it, I've already told you. It says, expressions that mirror my innermost feelings are unplanned, they're honest, and they're self-revealing. This route to unknown places is governed by the heart, because I had no predetermined ideas or thoughts. Emotion is always the first consideration. And I went through how it was formed. But paintings like this are rare, and the heart and the head were in balance as it took a lasting life of its own. It was included in an exhibition at Belmont, listed not for sale. But when we took it to their house, and I put it over the fireplace, white columns, white heart, beautiful red spotlight, I cried. That's when you're painting. And that's the message I'm trying to bring to you today, is quit worrying about what a tree looks like, or what somebody else thinks, or if it's pleasant. Who cares? You came once to paint. Paint. Let the heart go, and the mind will follow. That's the exciting thing I could tell you about that. By the way, they bought 5 other paintings. The line brings the eye back. The red on the edge keeps the eye in. This slide is not good, but I love these next 2 pieces. They're called Beyond and Beneath. And the reason I like them, they balanced to begin with, but they came so fast. I mean, they were just, I couldn't paint fast enough, and I wasn't thinking at all. The mind never entered into that. It was all heart. And I mean, it was just move here, do this, do that. Just let it go. This one and the next one. Let's look at the next one. These are not meant to be narratives, but emotions. Activity of uncertainty, not knowing where it's going to go, mystery, beyond our eyes, how we felt. So many times, if you practice this a few years, so many times you are unaware of what you're trying to say. And I read one time, it says, how do I know what I'm saying until I can see what I have said? Think about that. How do I know what I'm saying on this until I can look and see what I have said? That's when you know it's no longer a picture. And this top left side, see that scratchy stuff, the top left side? Those are the weeds in the yard when I took the painting. That's not part of it. That's just part of the weeds. They got in there. It's not bad. I thought I might put it in there. What we call skins. Now, have any of you ever worked with skins? One, James on the clay. Skins. A skin is a, and I've got some more I've got one with a lot of skins on. Skins, it's where when you get through painting that day, and you've got all these colors on your palette, and I use 2 palettes. I mean 2 plastic, what are they, kitchen plastic utensil things, you know, that have lids. Put foam in there. Pour the water in. Don't spray it a little bit. You pour the water in until they're wet, until it's just soaked wet. And then you lay a freezer paper on top of that and let it get soft and moist, and you put your acrylics on there. So I have 2 trays, one for hot colors, one for cold colors. Keeps my mind straight. So at the end of the day, when you're painting and you've got a glob of paint over here, you take some thick gel, you know, the gel you
work with. You all with me? Okay. You spread that gel out on a piece of freezer paper and take these colors that are left and just smear them all in there and let it dry. After it dries, you peel them off gently. Make sure it's thick enough that it'll peel off, and you place it on your painting. Now, why would you do that when you could just paint it? Because you'll get troubled often in a painting, and you don't know what to do with it, and you take those skins, place them around. There's one right there. And it will force you to see things that you would not have done if you were using your head. The head and the heart have to be in balance. There's just no way. So this is called a harness. I'll tell you about that heart business. I studied a long time under Anton Wise. And Anton is a marvelous painter, but he had to work at being a teacher. And he did. And one day I just couldn't paint. I just absolutely just wasn't there. I don't know what to paint. I just don't know what to paint. And so he came up a little later, and he said to me, and I've been painting for years and years and years and years, he said, "Whoever told you you could paint anyway?" And I said, "You know what you can do?" And I picked that brush up and I hit that canvas for all I had, and I'm telling you, it was there. And I looked over at him, and he was standing back there smiling. He made me mad. He caused an emotion. Folks, most of the time when we face a painting, we're thinking, what am I going to paint? It's all right here. And well, if it was right here, I wouldn't be a painter. It has to be here.